What's going on, everybody? YL from RebelEars.com here again with another episode of YL's Weekly Recap. So starting right off the bat this week, I'm talking about this event that I did. Really small, nothing major. I just kind of helped get the audio going, get the audio set up. All right. Really cut and dry. Nothing major about it this week. Of course, we had our Yamaha setup. We had our Rio. We had our Snake, our digital Snake, which is our Ethernet cable, our Ethercon 1 cable. And we can go, I think we had a 1608. So we had 16 inputs, 8 outputs, and we can all go digitally through one cable to the console. So, of course, we had that normal setup, just a couple speakers on tops. Nothing really major, really easy setup this week for event-wise. Moving forward, I also had to jump on my computer and I had to knock out a quick performance mix for the showcase that we've been planning with Rambo. So that happened this weekend. Most performance mixes would, of course, be the standard performance mix that we would all think about when we're talking mixing engineers, where we're pulling out main vocals, so we're leaving headroom and leaving space for the artist to be able to get on the stage and actually perform without rapping over their own vocals. So a lot of times as an engineer, when I do performance mixes, I pull out the main vocals. I'll leave the hook. I'll leave the ad-libs. I'll leave some backgrounds maybe. Sometimes you can customize your different mixes, your different performance mixes, depending on what the artist wants, right? Because sometimes they perform with a band. Sometimes, the performance mix might require the DJ to be able to put in some extra sounds or whatever. But this week in particular, my performance mix was basically, I took a bunch of songs, cut them, and gelled them all into one mix, something like what a DJ would do, right? So this particular artist, she wanted a hook and a verse on one song, but then she wanted that song to cut off and go directly into another song that just had a verse, and then wanted that to cut off and go into another song that had a hook, verse, hook, and different things like that, right? So basically just blending a mix. So it's almost like a DJ mix. So when I say performance mix, I'm not actually remixing or actually mixing the vocals and mixing the actual track. It's like I'm just blending things together, but I do have to go back into Pro Tools, go back into some of these sessions and adjust the vocals. I might have to adjust the beat. I might have to remove something to be able to make these transitions smooth. All right, so that was one thing that I did this week. And then, of course, what we all been waiting to talk about was the actual showcase, the Outbreak Showcase that happened, hosted by Ramboheem. We had a few performers. It was really dope experience. We were at Dream House Studios, south of Atlanta. And it was a really nice turnout, man. Shout out to Rambo. This is something that he put together himself as a independent artist. So it's always a salute when I get to work with artists that don't mind, of course, putting money into themselves and investing into themselves, but also believing in themselves enough to be able to say, hey, we're going to put this in the air and we're going to put this out and we're going to put this in people's face and we're going to have people pull up and watch us perform. And it was a really dope experience. Of course, I did the live sound. It's a few takeaways from that showcase as well, because I've done and I still do showcases now. So one thing I would say is the venue was really dope. Super dope venue. Really cool staff. I wish I could have been in front of the speakers. They kind of had the setup behind the speakers. And to be honest, I'm actually used to it. A lot of venues set up their in-house that way. Even when I go and do events, corporate events and concerts, and different things like that, sometimes you just don't have space to build a whole front of house, right? So you have to throw the console off to the side. It kind of sucks because as I'm live mixing, I really can't hear because I'm behind the speakers, which is fine. Usually a lot of times if it's corporate, you're able to walk out and kind of just listen for yourself. I was able to do that a small amount. It's a little harder doing performances. Usually in the corporate world, people are just talking, they're reading, they're presenting. You have time to step away. Of course, sometimes you can connect your tablet and work different consoles remotely without even touching them. But this was not that case. So it was cool though. I enjoyed it. I do wish that I could have been able to mix live, especially I had a singer and we didn't really have a sound check, so I was kind of winging it for the most part. So it would have really been cool if I could have been able to actually hear really what I was doing mixing live. But either way, it came out pretty good. I got good feedback from the people that were in the audience. Of course, I always ask how things sound. So it turned out pretty well. Like I said, I had a great time. We got some good footage. So we'll have more actual footage of the showcase that we're going to put on our YouTube, Rebel Ears YouTube channel. It was really dope, man. I enjoyed it. And yeah, that was my weekend, y'all. It was pretty dope, man, and I really enjoyed it. That was my week. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you were inspired again to continue to keep chasing that audio journey. There is a career out here for you. Guaranteed. You guys see what I'm doing. I'm showing it to you. I'm telling it to you. Hey, it is possible. Keep chasing that audio career. It is out there. You can do it on your own. Until next time, refuse to sound ordinary.